Hi, I'm Leapfrog.
Hello, my name is Longshaw, or Long Short. Today we're going to talk about this next Marvel movie worldview commentary, Iron Man. Thank you for coming, let's get into it. Okay, so when you think about Iron Man, the superhero, what was he before the titular superhero we know him today? What was he inquiring about the world before he went to the superhero status in terms of an Avenger? And how can we understand him as a whole superhero rather than one that is less than? I mean, Tony Stark doesn't have any powers. He doesn't have any real powers. His power is his mind and his heart. And that's what makes the suit even more probable, the Iron Man suit. Because of that, that's a seemingly gray scale between what's in and what's out. A weapon that can store as much power as any other weapon in the world. With the power of flight and beaming Starks, there's nothing more than what you could say about an Iron Man suit than his in exact nature. But the thing is, when you think about that, it's not just the overarching beauty of his mind and beauty of his heart to get something through. It's the beauty of the suit to carry over what's meant to be in terms of what he can do as, well, a responsible superhero. Yes, he slips up sometimes, but who doesn't? Yes, he has a mind of his own in terms of what he wants to do, but who doesn't? And yes, there seems to be something greater about himself than himself, and requiring that he thinks about himself a little too much. But at times, who doesn't? The thing is, when you're talking about such a superhero, we need to talk about the three main titular goals. And that's what we're going to talk about, and let's go into detail. So let's look at the nooks and crannies. Let's go into detail.
Villagers have been forced to take shelter in whatever crude dwellings they can find, in the ruins of other villages, or here in the remnants of an old Soviet smelting plant.
1. He's a superhero for his own sake. So, that doesn't necessarily mean he chose sides. He chooses the side that means just. He has a heart. That's what it means to be in a place and a goal of what is right and what is wrong and what is titular and what is important. He goes in the grasp of what is right. And what is right has different meanings, surprisingly, when you're talking about, you know, a suit and war and armor. And because of that, that seems to be bigger in a scale that even he can't hold on to. I mean, he has visions of letting the Avengers down, each Avenger dying for the sake of his own stake. And while we lean into that, too, his responsibility haunts him. Responsibility can be haunting because you don't know what could happen. You don't know what could possibly go down. And we don't know why it could go down that path. But the thing is, when you're thinking about this, you think about everything that goes into play of making a bigger and better responsible move. Then that could still be scary. But here's the thing, even though it is scary, even though there is power in saying that, you have to be responsible just to say. And even then, the responsibility still lingers over him to make sure his friends are still living happy lives. 3. The oversakeness of being a superhero. So when you're an Avenger, that means you give up your time, you give up your effort, you give up everything you know now, and you become an Avenger. You protect those who can't be protected, and you protect in a large and alluring way. And with that being said, the directive of being an Avenger means something to people. And that means, even though it's not necessarily real, it resonates in people's hearts. What it means to be an Avenger in the long scope, and why it matters today even more. See, the thing is, when it comes down to it, there's a lot of things we could say about being an Avenger. And while Iron Man being one of them, ends up being one of the most sacrificing and most playable Avengers we've ever known. So, with that being said, what does that mean for you and I? What does that mean for you and I? Application, of course. So, the thing is, when you go down the rabbit hole of, well, your own sake, you have to be able to look at the situation sunny side up, even though it's dark. You have to see everything from a brighter side, even though it's painfully darkened. You need to make sure you see the things from the bigger ups, not the brightened downs. You need to see things from where you are. You have to know what to do to fight off the enemy inside or outside. What does that mean for you and I? Well, what are you doing to fight off every enemy that you can? Inside your innermost being and well the outside of who you are. The reality. Because the thing is, when you think about trying to fight off a villain, whatever that villain is, do you have the tools to do it? Do you have the knowledge to do it? Do you have the heart to do it? Because at the end of the day, you and only you can make sure that beauty is still alive in the world by being a quote unquote Avenger or a quote unquote Iron Man. Thank you for coming. Let's continue on. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming to this Marvel Cinematic Commentary. There are more commentaries in the future, so keep an eye out for those. Also, the mission is 1,000 subscribers. You guys don't get the by hitting the share, like, and subscribe button right on the screen. Also by hitting the bell. Leave a like if you can too, and comment as well. Thank you again, and peace.